Well, g'day there, traders and friends right around the world. Thank you so much for joining me on this Tuesday afternoon market recap. What an eventful trading session we have had to kickstart this shortened trading week, much more so than the very dull market we saw last week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 190 points on the daily candle. The S&P 500 closed down just over 20. It was 21.86, and the Nasdaq closed down just over 55 points. When we reference shares and stocks which we follow in the pro analysis class, we've got two particular stocks so far which have triggered and are very, very profitable at this particular moment in time. We've got Boeing Airlines below 143.79. Today we closed at 142.80. If you are in this trade, you've got two positions to place your stop on the profitable trade. One above Friday last week, or even above the gap between Friday's and today's trading session. Two very smart places to place your stop on this bearish trade. We've still got our target down about 136.50, but a very nice entry, which we spoke about over the weekend in that pro analysis class. The second stock so far this week, which has really continued below last week's entry, and of course the 104.58 bearish entry this week, was Chevron. I've been speaking about this stock ever since this particular candlestick up here. Today we've really seen the breakdown of this particular share, down $1.60. It doesn't matter whether you got in at 105.41 or 104.58 on the bearish side. Very nice, profitable bearish trade. Here we are, we closed at 103. What was it? 103.29. Target 101.18. Again, you've got a very similar type of stop placement on this trade, either above Friday's candle right here, or you can place it above the gap between Friday's and Tuesday's trading session today. Very nice trade on CVX. Something which I've also referenced in the past in alignment with CVX was actually XOM. You can see over here 86.29 was the bearish trade setup. It took some time for it to actually break down. Today we're starting to see the movement flow into XOM as well. Target's still down here at 83.49. Right now it is very profitable as well. Another good little trade here which I referenced on our YouTube channel. Outside of that, we have got some additional trades which we spoke about potentially setting up over the weekend, and they have, or at least the candlestick has really presented itself nicely today. Apple, for instance, we were looking at this resistance level, waiting for a bearish candlestick to show up, indicating that we are going to see the continuation of this somewhat messy channel consolidation, which has been taking place in Apple since late February 2015. We've seen the bearish engulfing candlestick pattern. It has engulfed the previous 4 or so daily candles right here. A very nice entry. We had this 129.45. I mean, if Apple starts to crack below about 128.75, you can add this to your open trade orders. You can get a really nice trade on down to 123.68. The other stock which I was speaking about in great detail over the weekend, which again hadn't had this bearish candlestick, but we were incredibly bearish on the actual trade setup, was BIDU, and we had this very tentative entry at 199.33. I said, don't keep it open on Monday. Let the candle form. I don't know when it'll form, but it will. And that has what has occurred today during Tuesday's session. You can see this very nice engulfing candlestick pattern. If I show you the exponential moving averages, let me just move this. I can show you what is most important about this is that this is a very critical area of resistance. It has held as support for quite some time. We broke below it in early March. Now we're coming back up. We're retesting it. We're retesting also the 50 exponential moving average. That is declining. And of course, this trend line, which has been in effect since November 2014. All of these signals are aligning to say, look, this is a really good opportunity to start entering or legging into some short positions. So what I'll do right now is just move this entry below about 198.21, a really nice little trade down to 191.12. I don't want to be giving away trades on these YouTube updates. It's more so just a movement with the management of the trade setup itself. We've had some really good trades once again on Boeing Airlines to start the week. We've had another really great trade on CVX, both really profitable. We've had the XOM, which we've been following for a couple of weeks. That's 3 from 3. Outside of that, you know my favorite share for the week. People in that pro analysis class, there are still a couple of shares yet to trigger, which are just as nice as the shares which I've referenced. I'll just pay attention to them right now. We've got Caterpillar, which looks incredible, hasn't triggered, but I really like the setup in that stock. And also outside of Caterpillar, we have Amazon. These are the two go-to stocks which are still haven't triggered, but have got a very high probability of actually triggering. Outside of that, we've got the dollar index again continuing its upside move. I put out a trade update on this candlestick right here. Go back on YouTube saying that the bull run in the US dollar is set to continue, and that on the opposite side of this trade, silver and gold are going to fall under selling pressure. That has happened to the plan, you can see right here, I think over the past 6 or so trading sessions, we've had one bearish day, and that was really just this pausing type of candle right here. So the US dollar, as we speak, is really rocketed to the upside. It is up close to 4 cents since that recording. That is a very, very big move when you talk about a basket of currencies or a currency itself traded against a basket of counterpart currencies. A very big move on the US dollar. I've referenced silver and gold again. It will fall under selling pressure until the US dollar actually reverses its most recent bullish trend since establishing the breakout in late July 2014, early August 2014. Outside of that, the big market news taking place outside of the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and the S&P, of course, is the actual transportation average itself. Again, another update which I brought you last week. I made it very clear that during mid-March, we've seen the Dow Jones transportation average diverge from the Dow Jones industrial average, which has continued its upward trend. Let me just remove this line, which I just drew on my chart. But you've got the Dow Jones industrial average still up at resistance. It did see, again, that big sell-off today. But look at the Dow Jones transportation average. We had these two triggers over here. 8869 in the event of the bullish bounce, or we had the breakdown trade trigger at 8471. Personally, I didn't get into a trade on the Dow Jones transportation average. I'm using it as more so a gauge of the overall market outlook. And the way I'm really combining the transports with the industrials is that I believe the industrials are going to follow the movement of the transports. The transports are somewhat of a leading indication of what the industrials are going to do. And as you can see, down 131 points, that in of itself is quite a big move. But really the big talking point out of this is the failure to hold and establish the support level. We have broken below it. We've done it on good volume, although the volume isn't reflecting the daily candle. We just need to update this, or I need to update this. But please pay attention to the relationship between the Dow Jones transportation average and the industrial average. A big divergence taking place, and one in which is going to see most likely the industrials push lower. So we do have somewhat of a bearish outlook on the overall markets. I've covered a lot of individual stocks. We still have a lot of nice trades, especially on IBM, which looks really, really good. We've got a really nice Google and Facebook trade, which is a little bit away from where our entry price is, but at least we have a position open or multiple positions open to this downside leg in the market, which we've been speaking about for quite some time. If you're not in Pro, if you're not privy to the information in Pro, I suggest you have a look at that analysis class, that educational workshop. A really great way to start the week. And we have a lot of other trades which we covered over the week, which are yet to trigger, but still have a really nice probability and outlook of setting up some really nice moves for us as we move into the next 3 trading sessions to round out this most current week of trading. All the best traders around the world. It is a Tuesday afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your long weekend. I'll sign out now, and if we see continuation on Wednesday or even a big market move, I will be with you on Wednesday just to recap what is going on with the overall US markets. All the best, friends and traders right around the world. It's James signing off from Pivot Point Trading. Goodbye.